so much for having me tonight. This is really an honor, and it's very, very special to me to be here. As you all know, the results of my race were not what we had planned, but we learned a lot, and I'd like to share with you some things that we did right and some things that we're going to have to do better going forward. First of all, we had an extensive ground game due to the Homer Lockport Tea Party, also the Joliet Tea Party, which make up the Will County Tea Party Alliance. That was the basis of the manpower that helped us to walk those precincts, knock on those doors, make tens of thousands of phone calls into the district. It's because of this organization that was with me from day one that helped me to collect those 2,100 signatures in 19 days. So I want to say thank you and give yourselves a round of applause, the Homer Lockport Tea Party organization. Secondly, we had the right message. I ran on the fiscal issues. I ran on the forensic audit. I ran on balancing the budget. I ran on transparency. I actually posted my tax returns online. I had called for my opponent to do the same thing. That's what I was willing to do to set a higher standard for elected officials in the state of Illinois. And that resonated with people throughout the district, whether they were Republican, Democrat, or Independent. We held 7 town hall events. We called them Solutions Town Halls throughout the district, where we talked directly to the voters to get our message out. And we know that it resonated. So we had the right message and we had the manpower. Thirdly, we had a tremendous media team that helped us to get the message out when I was originally knocked off the ballot. It was our team that helped us to push that to the national arena. As a result, I ended up on the national Fox and Friends show. I ended up on the local Fox affiliate. This was around the same time when the story broke about the Tea Party supposedly being racist. I ended up on WGN as a result of that and was able to hit back on that. At that time, I ended up on the Chicago Tribune editorial page, like 4 out of 8 days, which was like unheard of for an unknown candidate. We were able to garner so much attention because of this entire movement, this grassroots movement. And so it was media, message, and manpower. And you know today how important alternative media is. It was because of those alternative media sites that we were able to push it to what you would call the mainstream media outlets. So those are the things that we were able to do very well. What we couldn't overcome was the fact that because I had been knocked off the ballot unjustly, I was technically only on the ballot for 95 days, which hurt me severely, and that was part of the reason why I was knocked off. It prevented me from fundraising. It had a big question mark over the campaign. And so I went from having 0 name ID 5 months before the election to having a lot of name ID, but obviously it hurt with the fundraising. So it's definitely beneficial to get in early, and that's why it's so great that Vivian sent out those emails about the upcoming elections to allow people to do that. And it all came down to money, as it always does. I was competing against the trial lawyers and the unions. I was beat up for a good 3 months on TV, on radio, and by mail. And I really couldn't answer that because I just didn't have the funds. We were outspent 10-2. My opponent spent $1 million for a state Senate seat. But all the news isn't bad. I just shared that with you to let you know that I'm proud of the fact that we actually drained $1 million from other campaigns. You see, this was supposed to be a safe seat. No one was supposed to run here. And so what the Democrats did is they created a firewall in the 43rd State Senate District to prevent the wave we saw happening in the rest of the country. But what we need to be doing is we need to be setting fires all over the state of Illinois in every district to prevent that from happening in the future. They don't have $1 million to spend in every state Senate district or every state rep district. And so we just can't keep conceding ground anywhere in the state of Illinois, because it will keep allowing them to set up these firewalls to dump millions of dollars into districts against candidates. And so that's why I'm really proud to be here tonight, because 4 other people have stepped up to the challenge to run for office. And I know I ran, just like many of you. I believe I had a very unique perspective as a wife and a mother, as a former accountant, and I'm sure many of you, small business owners, moms and dads, people in the community, you can bring a lot to local government and beyond. I just want to share a couple of stories with you. The only township that I didn't win any precincts in was Joliet Township.
That's surprising.
Yes. And that is where the effort was concentrated, the get out the vote effort was concentrated on election day. We were expecting about 54,000 voters on election day. 62,000 came out. So another 8,000 people just killed us at the polls. And just to give you some perspective, I got about 40% of the vote. If you exclude Joliet Township, I got 44% of the vote. Outspent 10-2. So there is opportunity even in so-called safe districts in Illinois. So the Sunday after the election, I went right down to Joliet Township. I went to Mount Zion Church, which had hosted the Joliet Black Chamber of Commerce candidate breakfast 2 weeks earlier. I went down to Mount Zion. I worshiped there on Sunday, and the pastor there was kind enough to introduce me along with all the other visitors that day. And he actually spoke very positively and warmly about me for about a minute, just stating that how happy they were that I had been in the race. I had come to that forum to let people know that they had a choice. So I think it's good to show up, and we have to start doing that more in Illinois. We can't keep conceding ground. Also, last Tuesday, I got a chance to go downstate to Champaign, Salem, Hannah, and Effingham. Thank you, Raquel. Effingham, and visit with folks down there, who many of whom had been supporting me and following the campaign. So it was great to meet many of them in person. And the energy down there was just electric. People are still ready to fight and ready and willing to work to make Illinois a better place for everyone. And so I couldn't agree with Vivian Moore when she talks about building our farm team. That's exactly what we have to do. We have to get more people who understand that our rights come from God, and that the purpose of government is to protect those rights. We have to start running for office and winning elections. So I'm really proud to be here tonight, and to just say thank you for the 4 people that have stepped up to do it. Like she said, it is a great commitment, and I certainly have respect for anyone who does it, having gone through the process myself. So if you can donate your money, if it's within your budget, please help out these candidates. If you can donate your time, if you can donate both, please do it. Because professional politicians will not save us in Illinois. They have shown that they can't be trusted, unfortunately, and it's going to take the small business owners, the moms and the dads all over this state to bring a better and a brighter day to Illinois. So I just want to thank all of you very much for allowing me to be here tonight and to share with you in hopes that we can turn things around. So thank you. God bless all of you.